Awesome. So check it out. We're at the reasontorock.com. We're in 1968 with All Along the Watchtower. So this will be the Read Aloud, Think Aloud for class. So as some of the things you may have looked at earlier on the website, you're to listen to it. Let's actually break down the lyrics a bit and take a look. Let's start by looking at the lyrics. The song came off of Bob Dylan's John Wesley Harding album, which marked a radical departure from his previous recordings. His older compositions often had many more than the standard 3 verses of popular songs. Positively 4th Street boasted 12. His lyrics had often been pointed and sharply critical. His use of language was unusual and called attention to itself by juxtaposing words and images not usually associated with each other. In contrast, All Along the Watchtower, in Spare and Restrained, the song consists of only 3 verses with no chorus. The language is simple, yet the 3 verses are packed with the meaning and drama. Let's see how it starts. "There must be some kind of way out of here," said the Joker to the thief. Notice how Dylan starts the song by throwing us into the middle of a conversation and begins with an urgent statement. We don't know where the here is from, which the speaker wants to escape, but we know he wants out. The sense of drama is immediate. We find out that the 2 people speaking are the Joker and the thief. These are archetypal characters archetypal characters that have existed in one form or another for thousands of years. By identifying them in this way, Dylan invokes a sense of timelessness because these figures are broad archetypes. There is already a suggestion that this might be a parable of some sort, a story whose essence remains the same over many different times, places, and characters. The Joker, or gesture, can be seen in general to represent the artist, someone whose role is to amuse other members of the established order, but also to provoke them, to suggest alternate ways of looking into reality. And, of course, the Joker and the thief are both outsiders of a sort, united in the separation from more ordered segments of society. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drank my wine. Plowmen dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of it is worth. So before we go on and continue reading, think about that. Break that down to yourself and ask, how does that apply to maybe the previous verse, the discussion, or even what does that make you think about when you're listening to the song, at least? So, going on. The rest of the verse tells us why the Joker wants to escape. There is too much confusion, but what is confused? Others are benefiting from his labors and working for him to help produce the results, but neither understands the worth of their efforts, so the confusion is about values. What is valuable and what is not? No reason to get excited. The thief, he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late. Again, it seems like a true sense of poetry reading it like this. How does that make you feel? What comes to mind when you read that line? Okay. Going on, the second verse begins with the thief speaking kindly to the Joker. This adverb lets us know that he is sympathetic and that he perhaps understands the worth of the Joker and his efforts. The thief goes on to say that while there are those who think that life is but a joke, the thief and the Joker know better, having lived through that. So while others may still be confused, these two are not. Since they understand the value of life, it is important for them to be truthful from one another. Then the last line of the verse brings us back to the exposition and to a sense of drama and movement, and impending action. The hour is getting late. All along the Watchtower, princes kept the view, while all the women came and went, barefoot servants too. Outside in the cold distance, a wildcat did growl. 2 riders were approaching, and the wind began to howl. This beginning of this final verse suddenly shifts the scene without at first giving us a sense of how this new setting connects to the first one. In contrast to the first two verses, which were full of conversation, this verse unfolds almost cinematically, full of visual imagery. The new scene is populated with princes, women, and barefoot servants, establishing a time and place in the past, although again using enduring archetypal figures. These figures guarding their castles seem to represent established society and the existing power structure. But what are they guarding against? A wildcat growls from the distance, suggesting the savage and tamed power of nature lurking just beyond the well-ordered lights of the castle. Then we see the two riders approaching. Suddenly, in only 4 words, the first two verses are connected with the last, with a sort of cinematic establishing shot, but used at the end of the story rather than at the beginning. We see the thief and the joker approaching the castle. We already know that they want to establish a different set of values, one based on the worth of human life. Their approach towards the guarded castle suggests an impending confrontation, and then the last line of the song strengthens the suggestion with imagery of a furious storm starting to build. As you can see, there's definitely a lot of reflection based on these lyrics. Kind of tells a whole story. Um, One of the things I would suggest to you, and maybe as an in-class assignment, reflect on how this song makes you feel, how the lyrics make you feel, what you particularly like about it. But what other songs in this era have kind of that similar value? Um, as you reflect on this, reflect on other songs, reflect on their lyrics, and really any music lyrics, and see how, if you can understand where they're coming from, what they're trying to establish by setting this tone. Thank you for watching.